crazy.
All right, nice. All right, so we're live. Um,
Cool.
Welcome, David. Welcome, everyone. So hopefully some people will be listening to this somewhere in the world at some point.
Sure, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, let's get some people on board.
Yeah, so me and David met through the Yoga Factory and my partner Jess. And I've been meaning to call you for ages or
Cool.
text you
Same
or
here.
something and connect, but it never happened. So I'm grateful for this time where we've slowed down and
Yeah,
we've managed to make it happen. And now we're making it happen, having a good little chat over the internet.
yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's one of those things where you've got to take an opportunity when it comes up, right? We've got some more time, we've got some more space, people need some more information. So yeah, get two people on board that want to share the love and some
Yeah.
cool stuff.
And I just
Yeah.
realised we're both wearing a white t-shirt
There
somehow.
you go. Completely unplanned, guys. Completely unplanned.
It's perfect. So David, your son is Williams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
David
So
Williams. That's me.
David Williams, and your company is called Simply Clear Coaching, am I right?
Yeah, Simply Clear Coaching. That's the
Yeah,
one.
nice.
Yeah.
So you're working from that platform. But today, obviously, we're going to talk about a load of things and more your course. But if you could just give us a little brief about what you do, mate, I'd love that. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So my job description is it's not the usual, I guess. And the way I normally introduce it is I help people rewire their emotional responses, rewire their neurology to get more helpful thinking patterns, to be more emotionally aware, to be able to manage their emotional state, working on things like limiting beliefs. And it all comes from a background as working as a therapist in mental health services. So I worked on acute services in hospitals for a while, running groups, workshops. Yeah, and then in the community in GP surgeries as well, helping people manage their mind until I left the NHS, had a bit of a brain space and thought, you know what, how can I do this in the way that's best going to serve people to the most people? Yeah, without lots of unnecessary paperwork. So
Cool.
I started Simply Clear Coaching, and that's one-to-one workshops and NLP training as well.
So how long have you been doing that now on your own?
On my own since 2015,
Oh,
but
wow.
I started working in the NHS, started working with clients around kind of 2004, something like that. So a little while now, a little
Yeah,
while, yeah.
plenty of experience. And was that kind of, did you know you was ready to take that step and just like jump into going solo, or was that forced upon you in some way, or
Yeah,
universal?
I guess it was never being that good at fitting in a box, whether that was school, whatever. It wasn't quite able to kind of fit to the 9 to 5, wasn't able to fit in with that. I loved the work I did and I loved getting the results I got. But yeah, there was a different way to do it where I could do the kind of hours that I wanted, have the freedom, have the time freedom, open it up to a wider audience and stuff. So I had a bit of a break, had 3 years out, went traveling out the country, laid in a hammock quite a lot, thinking, processing, putting stuff together, dropping all of the 9 to 5 routines that we're all kind of ingrained in, which at the minute is a really good opportunity to step out of that.
Yeah.
And then came back and set this up, and it's been one of the most powerful and challenging things ever. You don't realize what you don't know, right, until you realize you don't know it.
No, definitely. Oh, nice. And could you just I know we're not talking just about NLP today, but I just want to know just quickly for those listeners as well, what exactly NLP is.
Yeah.
Jesse tried to explain it to me, I think, but I don't know
Sure,
how.
but it's not the easiest thing to explain because it really depends on who you are, your
Mm,
experience of NLP, right? Because everybody's got their own map of the world, everybody's got their own reality that they're living from based on their beliefs, their experiences. So we're like filtering and deleting all of that wonderful information and world that's out there to fit with us. So NLP really, it's kind of like a user manual for the brain. Um, and it involves lots of different elements from different things. It's pulled together all the great things. They were like, why are some people really good at stuff and some people not? So they basically went and interviewed, this is the creators in the kind of 70s, and interviewed people who were really good at what they did. So that was teachers, therapists, trainers, people that had spontaneously overcome a phobia. How did you do that? What did you do on the inside? How did you make your reality different now?
mm.
And they put this all together in a model which kind of teaches you how to communicate, how to use your language, how to manage your emotions. Yeah, so it's a lot of different things. So some people use it for, well-being. Some people use it for working with mental health. Some people use it in a coaching sense. Some people use it because it involves elements of hypnosis. So you can use it to put people into relaxed kind of states where their unconscious is open to change. It pulls on a lot of different things,
And mainly like the vast majority of your clients are coming for like mind work?
Yeah. So a kind of emotional resilience is the thing that I felt everybody needs and benefits from. So yeah, it's normally around emotional stuff, but I also started moving into the realms of helping coaches, training them in NLP and set up their own practice as well. Because all of the stuff and all of the hair pulling that I've done over the last few years, it's nice sharing that. But
Yeah.
my area is emotional resilience, feeling good. Finding that happiness and
Yeah, I saw
success.
that on your site. That looks cool. What do you get from teaching people to teach as such, or
Yeah, well,
teaching
it's
people to
great.
deliver, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Because I want as many people to know this. I want as many people to feel good. I want as many people to feel fulfilled, because unless you have a look at what your values are and move your life in line with that, you're not going to have that feeling. So when you're older, you're going to look back and be like, "Do you know what? I had a good old crack. I had a good old time. I had some nice, amazing connections. I did the things I wanted to do, had the experiences." And that's what thinking about it now does. So giving your future self a chance to thank you. Do you know what I mean? For the work that you put in now. And I love that. And through training other people, I know they're going to go out there because I still want loads of time to drink coffee and lay in a hammock. Do you know what I mean? That's really important to me. So I want, lots of people to know this and share it all over the place, really. And I
Yeah.
feel like Digital Age is a really good place to do that,
How often do you go and think about laying in a hammock in a foreign country?
Yeah, quite often. I have
Yeah.
got one in the garden, so that's good to like. But quite a lot. And I think about being resilient. I was meant to go into Australia for a month in June. I booked the fact for the family to take the family over there, as a treat, really, and a nice thing. So obviously that's probably going to be postponed. So I think in this time, a level of acceptance has got to be there. Wishing it to be anything different than it was is going to cause you pain, right?
Yeah.
Is going to cause you pain. So I feel like, we've got to be dynamic and flexible, guys. We've got to adjust. We've got to be flexible with this.
Yeah, and we're not, like you said at the beginning about the 9 to 5, we're not used to being flexible. We're not used to like having that dynamism about us. And like working for yourself, I think automatically does that in some way, or having your own business. But when you're used to just 9 to 5 and same routine, same structure, same walk every day, same food every day, the patterns and what we call those impressions in yoga just, they stick hard. And like to come out of that is impossible. I'm so grateful for the work I've done so far and being in this situation of lockdown, but I can't imagine for some people it must be painful.
Sure. Yeah,
it must be hard.
Because everyone's in their own different situation, right? Some people have got a whole house full. Some people are by themselves. Some people are with people they get on really well with. And some people are with people that they don't, that potentially is, a really unhelpful situation to be in. So I guess it's having an appreciation of that and being, and starting where you're at with this. What is your particular challenge you're facing? Is it that people are driving you crazy and they're doing things that are annoying you and you're getting frustrated, you're getting irritated? Because there's a lot of people in their gardens, right? I can hear kids and I can hear parents and I can hear them talking, shouting, whatever, having their dynamics. And I feel like, one thing about this is being able to communicate what you need right now. I remember when I was over in Asia, I was traveling around there and I was spending time with this lady that we were hanging out, and I just turned to her one day because it wasn't clear what was going on. There was this bit like weird. I wasn't used to traveling with people together, and I just said to her, what exactly do you need right now? What is it you need in this moment right now? And she was like this, as if no one had ever asked her that question, right? We're so busy guessing what people need. We're busy mind reading, or like expecting people to mind read us, or they're my partner, they should know what I think. You've got to communicate. If something's driving you crazy, you've got to say, hey, this is happening. Can we look at this? Speaking our truth's hard. So I feel like communication is really important when you're stuck in a place with people, right? You've got to tell them.
Yeah.
You've got to tell them.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think we're like kind of we've come to the opposite of that a little bit with social media and like electronic means of communicating. And I know this has been talked about a lot already, but it's worth mentioning just for a moment, is that we're not used to that confrontation of speaking our truth face to face with someone in the physical realm. It's over the phone. It's easy to say like, something or whatever you want. There's no need for an example, but we all know what we're talking about. But when it's face to face and you feel the energy of someone, that's a whole different ball game, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah,
It's
you've got to
beautiful.
hold
It's so
the faith.
lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. And once you've done it, like it's never as bad as you imagine it's going to be, right? And your life changes. You feel lighter. You feel like free. You feel authentic. It's a good thing.
Definitely. Yeah, like with, me and Jesse hear about our moments, but it's nice because we can talk about them and
Yeah,
overcome them. And then when you talk about them, it feels good.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
find it painful,
yeah.
confrontation in some ways. Not that it's confrontation, maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. You could tell me that, but it's like I don't know. I guess I've always had a little bit of fear over it, but
Sure.
now more than ever, especially from the yoga factory and having to manage people and having to have those difficult chats, even though they're not employees of mine, I still have to sometimes say to people, look, I don't think this is working, whether they
Yeah,
disagree or not. That's a hard conversation.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
it really is. It really is. Yeah, and there isn't anybody who isn't on that journey. I'm on that journey, and when you're in a new context, you have to learn it again. I was really good in my personal life and relationships, but then I started a business and I was like, oh shit, this is a different kettle of fish. Like, you have to transfer that skill, them skills on match,
mm,
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
So, COVID-19's here. What have you put together, David, for people? Like you told me, I've put this out on the internet from my email, and it's so lovely that you're willing to give that time. Like, respect to you, mate. That's so amazing. A
Yeah,
good
yeah.
little bit of karma yoga, a little bit of seva. But before we crack on, maybe it will lead to some more stuff. Maybe you could just let us know what that is, because I think we need to spread that out there and let people know.
Of course. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Well, I've been a bit of a whirling dervish the last sort of week and a half, because there's a few companies that I go in and I do resilience training and stuff with, and they phoned me and they said, hey, could you put together a 6-week emotional resilience, like a several-week emotional resilience training for our staff? And I was like, yeah, no, sure, we can do that. I organized it, set it up, and it felt like all the tech came together at the right moment. All the things I'd learned over the last 5 years, it was like boom. So I was really enjoyed putting that together for people. And then do you know what? I just decided that I wanted to open that up to the wider audience. Yeah, there are some businesses that can afford that for their staff, but actually the whole world needs some support right now. And I've just created it. So it's simple a case, why not just put that out to everybody? So I did, which is really cool. And I wanted to make it one of those things that people can access whenever they need. So this emotional resilience course is all the things that I've thought about that are probably going to serve people to know about in the up and coming weeks. And we're going to be covering things from, we touched on communication today. I'm going to be teaching you like a really cool blueprint of how to communicate what you're feeling, what's going on, whether that's with like colleagues or your boss or your kids or whatever, just a way of putting that across where you can be clear and succinct and not get all overwhelmed with the stress of it all, right? Yeah, all the things from kind of how to generate cool emotional states on demand. So like installing that into your neurology and giving you access to that like a shortcut on your computer. Mindfulness, like how to be present and acceptance, and loads of things to kind of help keep you well. And I didn't want people to miss out on the live sessions, which are every Tuesday for the whole of April.
At what time?
So, 7 o'clock in the evening. So we did the first one last week, which was the 7th, and then we've got Tuesday coming, which is the 14th, and then we've got 21st and the 28th. 7 o'clock for an hour. It's live. You've got chat there. You can chat with me. There's polls and stuff. It'll be really interactive. We'll have a great time. You'll learn some cool stuff. And also, I created a membership area. So when you sign up, you get to access all of the replays and all of the downloads as well. So it doesn't matter if you've missed one, if you've missed some of it, if you missed all of them, if they're finished, doesn't matter. You can still sign up and get your stuff. And it's going to be me, pretty much like this, on cam, chatting away. I'll even have a whiteboard set up, all kinds of cool stuff in my little home office. So yeah.
And how was the reaction on Tuesday? Was it good? Was there
It was
some
great.
interaction?
Yeah. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. There was lots of OMGs. There was lots of people being like, I didn't realize that this was possible. And people, when I did the communication one in ground control, the company I did, they were like, I wish I'd known that before I got divorced, right? So there's loads of cool stuff, right? There's loads of cool stuff that I want to share. And it's just one simple sign up, and then you get your login and you get all access to that. So, and it's completely free. Let's get the world feeling good. That's what it's all about. We've
got to get this content out there. It's an important time to, and more than ever, I feel such a nice community feeling everywhere. Like the reaction I've had online with doing the classes has been immense, like better than anything I've ever done at the studio. Any project, not anything. Like I'm so pleased with the response, and it really highlighted to me the power again of the internet and social media, because before this came about, I almost lost faith again in social media because of, like, you know, the filters and all of that sort of stuff. And I feel like I'm never getting displayed on people's timelines, you know, even though there's nearly 3,000 followers on the Instagram account.
Sure.
A lot of people,
Yeah.
nothing was ever getting out there. But the reaction to this online stuff has been amazing. And the support, like people doing so much stuff for the community. We've got like free yoga nidras, meditations, all this cool stuff and things like you're doing. People are pulling together and wanting to help each other. And
absolutely.
I think this is going to serve a great deal in the future, like going forward now. I think this is going to be like a really massive boost for everyone to, you know, see the reality a little bit more of what we're living, because I don't know how you feel, but I think we've been so blinkered for so long. We've been going on this big, quick steam train that we're not stopping and no one's stopping. And, you know, I don't know where we're heading, but this has been a nice checkpoint.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And like you say, you know, we get bound into those routines. We walk the same way, we talk the same way, we see the same people respond in the same emotional way. So this is a perfect opportunity. If you're feeling a bit confused out there, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, this is perfect, because that's all it means, is that you are about to de-wire yourself from all of the stuff that's been kept you in that systematic thinking that it's hard to break out of, for sure. So yeah, so do you want to just tell a little bit about you, Josh? Because obviously I'm going to be sending it out to my newsletter as well and stuff.
Yeah,
so
man,
yeah, where are you at? What's going on?
Well, like for me, it's been a really good moment of reflection, like this current period. So the Yoga Factory has been running for it's been running like 3.5 years, 4 years, kind of officially, a bit longer than that. But I've been kind of back 2 years running the studio, and like I said, in those 2 years, I've literally been full steam, like full train steam ahead, like. You know, like like that the whole time. And I think like I'm not annoyed at myself for that at all. There's a reason behind it. You know, we need to put some effort into something for it to ever work. And I'm pleased with what I've done. But this moment has really allowed me to just step back a moment and say, well, what is it actually that I want to create now? Because I've got a foundation, and now I've got, you know, lots of football players in the team, good ones, and it's like, well, how do I want to score the goals, you know? And the goal for me is to help people with yoga and spread this message of yoga as widely as I can and make it as accessible as I can. For a long time now, I've been going to yoga classes, and it is very much just people who practice yoga week in, week out, and you know, and that's it. One of my main missions always was to get new people into yoga. Yeah. Men, new people, you know, people who normally wouldn't go to yoga class. And we're seeing more and more of that now. You know, we're doing beginners courses and stuff. But I think for me now, it's like, okay, so how can I structure a business that incorporates all of the different elements of the yoga practice and a holistic way of life that I'm most passionate about and that I can spread to the community. So where I'm at is a big transition phase, I see in my eyes. That's not to say, you know, I'm leaving Yoga Factory or anything. It's, I want to go deep in and see, okay, so how could I structure this the right way? I don't know where that came from, but what I'm trying to say is that so much balance is being created for me right now in my life, where I'm like, it's like one of those moments when someone's like, well, what do you want? Like you just said. It's like, what do you want? It's an overwhelming question. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. And I'm like, well, okay. Yeah, what do I actually want? You know? So that's where I'm at.
That's how exciting. How exciting. Because you're doing such an amazing job. And I've been to, you know, I went to one of the breath workshops at the studio. Absolutely amazing, incredible. And such an amazing space. It really, I don't know, you just feel like you take a sigh of relief when you walk in. You know, it's that kind of place that you just walk into and you settle in. They have so much cool stuff there, you know, classes and treatments and stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. And the online stuff that you're doing at the minute as well, I guess.
Yeah, so that's something we want to continue. So like I said, the reaction to that has been immense. So one thing I would like to do is continue that somehow, and hopefully, you know, not too many people listen to this just yet, and, you know, also jump on that. No, I'm joking. It's all about love. But, you know, I've got a few things in the pipeline that I'd like to do with the online stuff and try and continue this wave, because look, I like connection. Like you say, I like people come in. I think it's really important to see people in the flesh and have that connection. But I also understand that we live a quite, you know, full on lifestyle, and it's not always easy to get to a yoga studio. You know, you might have the builder coming round at 11:30 and your class finishes at 10:30. So why not try and make this accessible for people at their homes?
Yeah, it's about choice, isn't it? Because people are still going to come to the face-to-face classes. You're still going to get your fix, because I know that I need that. I really love that. I couldn't do without that forever. But yeah, it's kind of just gives more people the choice, you know, which is really cool.
Definitely. And I think that with the Yoga Factory, it's about like, how can I want people to be able to come to somewhere, like you say, and feel the feelings that you felt, but make that somewhere where they want to hang out and they want to be, you know, because we learn so much from speaking to each other and communicating, not just from going to a yoga class. Yeah. So now it's about that next step of lifestyle. Lifestyle is something that I think is big and fundamental to health, both mental and physical.
Absolutely.
So if I can show people how I live my lifestyle a bit more, you know, in a way, somehow encompass that, then I feel like people will benefit from that.
Definitely. Yeah, it's exciting, and I just say blessed to be having this conversation with you, because it feels right. It feels good.
And how about you, David? How did you find that breath workshop? Just because I think it's a really good way, and I'm interested to hear what you think of it from an emotional perspective.
Yeah, totally fascinating. Totally not what I expected. Totally was completely out of the realms of most things that I've done. So yeah, really interesting. Working on the principle that so first of all, a lot of the work I do is, you know, if you're talking about your nervous system, you're talking about your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, you get stressed, you're already kind of a feeling, and your parasympathetic nervous system. I spend a lot of time teaching people to access that parasympathetic nervous system, same as when a lot of the kind of relaxation yogas and stuff. But this working on the very idea that to activate your sympathetic nervous system to allow you to express and release all of the stuff that you felt that you couldn't at the time, whether that was you were really pissed off, whether it was you were really sad, whatever it is, getting stored in your neurology, which I'm a big believer of, because in NLP, the mind and the body are part of the same system, right? You can't see them in isolation. And this was a really, really full-on, like it was a full-on experience. And to be in a room with that many people having that kind of intense release was really intense. And I did the brothers workshop as well, so it was all guys. And I haven't done a mixed class, but I feel that from the feedback you were saying and stuff, it was like it was different. It was different. So you know, I'm only speaking from this perspective, but I do know women that have gone on the mixed one and just had amazing results as well. So yeah, so I release a lot of sadness in that, and it's combining the breath with that physical movement, just being whole body aware and just almost trusting, allowing yourself to go through that experience. And beautifully facilitated, really supportive. It felt like a well-rounded beginning, middle, end process and journey. And yeah, the feedback was amazing. People were having great results with that. It's cool. And lots of people who had never kind of dipped into anything like that before as well. You know, like people, really great, really, really cool.
Definitely. And relating it to NLP, like how did you feel in that relaxation part when you do kick into the parasympathetic nervous system? It's a pretty blissful experience, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just admire and appreciate and love when people are able to facilitate somebody accessing an emotional state or a change, because that's what I do and that's what I train people to do. So great, do it.
I'm pleased you like that. I'm pleased you got good results from that, because I think it's an amazing way of releasing that kind of stored emotion and trauma, as they call it. But I don't breathwork and trauma release for anyone that's likes the sound of that. It's such a great way of releasing tension and, you know, all of that stuff basically that's stored up inside of you through trauma. But no, it's good. And do you meditate, David? Do you have a little dabble of the old mindfulness and that?
I do. Yeah. Sometimes it's formal. So sometimes it is sitting down doing like a longer period of time. But most of the time for me, it's a general touching in with myself during the day. Yeah.
Taking a moment.
It's little mini groundings throughout the day. because I feel like, yeah, you can do this once a day. You can go and do your 10 minutes or whatever, your half an hour, whatever it is you do, you know, and that's kind of like your training, right? That's your training ground. That's like, yeah. And then day to day, it's about, yeah, I just check in with myself quite regularly throughout the day and just catch in with the breath. Yeah.
Yeah, good. I'm pleased to hear that, because like the NLP sounds quite holistic, you know, sounds like a quite almost a yogic perspective on, you know, releasing in a way.
Yeah. It took me a little while to work out how they marry together, because I teach mindfulness, so like in, you know, the different programs that I run, my Beyond Anxiety method program that like incorporates mindfulness. NLP is very active. NLP is a very active process. You are changing, you are shifting, you are purposely moving into something different. Whereas mindfulness is very much an appreciation, an awareness, an acceptance of how things are at the moment.
Right.
In mindfulness, you're getting the awareness of what you're doing on the inside. So you're more aware of the movies that you're playing, the internal voice that you're jibber jabbering on, the feelings that might have been hijacking you. So I always start with mindfulness because I feel like that gives people the self-awareness to notice what's going on, to then change it. So that it took me a little while to work out how they went together. The NLP is super proactive. Like you can get rid of a phobia in like half an hour. Just mind-blowing, which is why I love training it, because it still amazes me every time after like 15 years. You can change lifelong stuff so quickly. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's very active.
Is it a guided practice? Would I be sitting here like this and you'd be talking to me as such?
Well, it depends on the person. It's a very interactive thing, because we might be having a conversation about a problem, and then you would tell me about your problem using your words, and then I would use my language and my questions to help you shift that neurology. So there's certain we delete stuff, we distort stuff, and we generalize stuff, right? So our idea of the situation is nothing to do with what the situation is, right? It's just a whole load of previous experiences piled on top, and your emotional responses related to that. It can't be any other way. That's how it is. But yeah, it would be very active. So I might be challenging you, I might be doing a specific technique, getting you to imagine stuff inside. I'm going to use humor, I'm going to challenge you, I'm going to ask you uncomfortable questions, probably at times that are going to make you squirm, because that's when you look at beliefs, it can be a little bit like, oh God, all right, you know. But that's me as a coach. That's me as a coach. You're paying me to ask the questions that no one else is going to ask you. Yeah. And you're going to hate me at times, but that's okay, because we'll all have a lovely time afterwards, and we'll have lots of fun as well. So, but if I'm doing a trance with you, you might just lay there for 20 minutes without opening your eyes, and me guiding you on the experience, installing the new patterns that you want. Yeah.
What out of interest, I hope don't mind me asking, why do you call yourself a coach and not like a therapist? Is that a general thing for an NLP practitioner to call themselves a coach?
In a way, I coach people. Therapy, I feel like, has its own connotations and stuff, right?
I'm just interested, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to be somebody who so it's very different from counselling. I'm not going to listen to your story for a long time. I've got a lot of counselling friends who are amazing what they do, and they've said NLP added a new level on. So I feel like, calling myself a coach, I'm able to challenge people in ways that probably aren't traditional in the therapy sense. So I coach people using all the disciplines I use, including EFT, like acceptance commitment therapy, mindfulness, NLP, whatever it is. I'm going to just bring all this stuff in the room. I'm going to coach you using it to achieve your objective, which usually is bound up in belief systems and emotional responses, right? So yeah, so I feel coach allows me to do it in my way without being bound by a particular way, and it being pedantic and nonsensy like it can be sometimes in the therapy world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that. I wanted to hear that. That's cool.
Okay.
It gives you more of an opportunity to go down these roads.
Yeah. So Simply Clear coaching, because I love simplicity and I love clarity, right? That's what I aim for in my life. I want a simply clear mind. I want a simply clear life. I want simply clear systems. And I'm going to coach you to have that. That's where the name came from. That's where.
Do you live a simple life then? You must do.
Pretty simple.
If you're called Simply Clear Coaching.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I was at my happiest when I was living in my camper van. You know, I had a box of clothes that was this big. Like, I didn't even have a bank account. I just used my wallet. I did massage, to make money as I went along. And it's all a little bit complicated out there, guys. It doesn't have to be as complicated. Right?
Does it?
And I'm all for being financially free, right? That is part of why I'm doing the business, to help a lot of people, and so that I don't have to have money worries, family doesn't have to have money worries, all of that kind of stuff. But it's what you do with that money, right? So I want the money to be able to provide opportunities, to be able to reach more people and stuff. It's not about having things, right? And I feel like spirituality and money gets a little bit conflicted sometimes. People have that conflict in their mind. And that was a huge journey that I went on around belief systems. You know, working in the NHS, you earn a certain amount of money, which in my opinion isn't enough for the work that's done, right? But I want to be able to make the money so that you can create charities, so that you can, you know, provide services for people that need it. So I feel like, yeah, money's an interesting one. We've all got our own journey to go on with that, you know.
Yeah, I certainly have that battle sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a definite journey, but that's part of it, right?
Yeah. And absolutely. And it's the very thing that's allowed me to put this 4-week course together. Because I make money in other ways and I do those sorts of things, then I have the time to create something that's needed, right? So for me, that's the way it balances out in my mind.
For me, it's more of a justification for charging money sometimes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, like, especially like early on in my life, I went to live in an ashram, so like everything I'd done there was voluntary.
Sure.
Now could be most probably described as almost a cult because of some things that happened. But anyway, that's another conversation. But
Yeah.
like I saw yoga and service as a way of giving, and I didn't see the need to charge for it because it's a natural thing from the divine. But at the same time, they were charging for it because people would visit the ashram.
Of course.
You know,
People aren't just paying you for the yoga. People are paying for you for the hours and hours and hours that you dedicate to this and love that you have for it. Not everybody has that, you know. That's what people pay you for. It's your love of it, your passion of it, your ability to pass something on because you've dedicated your life to it, right? That I feel that's worth. You think about how much people go and get their nails done or their hair done. I'm not being funny.
or
You know?
the body modifications.
Exactly. So it's about how do you want to spend your money? Do you want to spend it going to Josh's awesome class, or do you want to go and get your nails done? Not that you can get your nails done right now, but this applies generally, right? Do you want to do a little bit less shopping on Amazon to pass the time, right? Because you want to attend the class. I don't know. And I feel like that's where people have got to prioritize. And I've invested stuff in myself as well. I bought, you know, various online courses to help me with my business, and I've loved spending that money because it's given me what I need. Because they love it, they put it together, and they care. Pay for that all day long.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay for that all day long. Yeah.
Investment. Why are people going to sign up for this? Get on your website and sign up for this course, David. Quickly, just a quick fire.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to go on there and I'm going to have a little look at it.
Okay, cool.
Why should my friends listening to this and your people listening to this sign up?
All right, cool. If you're a fan of learning stuff, if you're a fan of developing, if you're a fan of investing in yourself and your future, and you want to create a community online and you want to learn the skills to be resilient, not just in this period, because this will finish. I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but this period of time will end and we'll go out there like moles, you know, coming out of a cave, and that's fine. We'll do that. And then you got life to get on with, right? So these are the skills. They're not just for, you know, this time, but they are especially relevant at this time. Yeah. So I feel like if you want to build a community, if you want to just have the access to those, then and learn some cool stuff, and we can get to know each other a bit. That's really cool. So you can go to isn't on simplyclearcoaching.com, which is my normal website, where you can have a look at like coaching and NLP training and stuff. That's due a massive overhaul because I'm using different tech and all that kind of stuff, but it's boring behind the scenes things. But if you want to sign up, go to copewithcorona.co.uk, right? I just thought, you know what, buy a simple domain, get it out there, it can have its own bloody website, it's fine, make this a thing. So copewithcorona.co.uk, put your email in, you'll get your login, you'll get your link to the next training.
Beautiful.
Job done.
Job done. Instagram, where can people find you?
Yeah, Simply Clear Coaching. There's one picture of a book on there.
Oh, right.
You won't get much on my Instagram, just so you know. We'll get there eventually. But if you want to go Facebook, Simply Clear Coaching, that's where most of the stuff is. You know, I'll branch out when I've got the time, the energy, and, you know, want to sacrifice drinking coffee for doing Instagram. But, you know, we'll get there. So Facebook, go Facebook, Simply Clear Coaching. The link's on there. You can sign up there as well. So,
yeah,
cool.
Good. Nice, David. It's been good, man. We're doing this again.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah,
Do this
let's
again.
jump on when we've got some cool stuff coming up. Let's share the message and things, and I'll send this out to my crew as well. So
Yeah, I'd love that. So take care, David. If you
yeah,
need any, yoga during these times, you know where we are. I'm sure
will
you've
do.
got your beautiful practices of some sort of exercise and mind training, but
Well, it's been putting this stuff together. Do you know what I mean? So now it's done. It's like time for me to just take a check in and do some stuff like that as well. Because sitting at a laptop all day is not that great, and that's what I've been doing. So it's time to get this in shape with catch up with this for a bit. So
it's a nice feeling though, isn't it, when you do something like that? When you work on something for like 2 weeks non-stop and you're like,
yeah,
you complete it, it's a strange feeling.
yeah.
For me, it highlights that like there's no need to attach to an end result, because when I get there at the end, I'm like, well, what do I do now?
Yeah,
I've done it.
absolutely.
I'm no happier. I'm happier
Yeah,
that I can spread content, but I'm no happier.
sure. Enjoy that process. Enjoy the
Yeah.
process.
All right, David.
Cool.
Thank you so much, man. I really
All right.
appreciate that. I
Yeah, good
want
to see
I
you.
want to do this again. We'll talk about some other crazy stuff, I'm sure, but it's been a
Yeah, we
nice
will.
introduction
Yeah, we will.
to the
Cool.
community. All right, and enjoy the rest of your day.
All right. See you later, Josh.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.